Jennifer Welch of the I've Had It podcast, one of the co-hosts of the I've Had It podcast, she really gives a clinic to mainstream media on how to actually interview a potential politician running for office. She has on her show a man named Jeff Duncan, and she really asks him actual journalistic questions. Now, if you're not familiar with Jennifer Welch from the I've Had It podcast, you should check her out. She's pretty good. She's got that common touch. They're from Oklahoma. They are liberals, a tiny blue dot in a sea of red in Oklahoma. And they've had it. According to the name of their podcast, they have definitely had it. And there is a guy running for governor, or I believe he's the lieutenant governor or was a lieutenant governor, Jeff Duncan, and he is running for office, running for governor in the state of Oklahoma. And she comes off as kind of like a liberal wine mom. So a lot of these politicians who are going on to get interviewed by Jennifer Welch on the I've Had It podcast, they are under the impression that they're probably going to get some kind of softball interview. And that is not what we've got here. It is actually pretty glorious to watch. So let's have a listen and see what she's got to say, because she really does hold this guy's feet to the fire.
Will you take AIPAC money, or have you taken AIPAC money?
I'm not certain if I've taken it or not. I've been in office 10 years. It doesn't jump out at me as I'm taking it. But I think the most important part is...
I'm sorry, honey. You don't know if you've taken AIPAC money? I'm sorry. That dog won't hunt. That is some absolute bullshit. You know exactly where your money comes from. Don't piss down my leg and tell me it's fucking raining.
Will you for this race?
I have no idea. I haven't even thought about it.
Okay, come on, Jeff. This is like, there's a genocide going on right now. In even human rights, Israeli human rights groups see this, that the United States of America is funding.
To see these kids starving.
And to not know if you're going to be beholden to the Israeli lobby is to me is not something that should take time to think about, because you started off this interview with us talking about your faith.
It is.
Will you take AIPAC money in this race?
I have no idea.
That's twice she's asked, and both times I have no idea. I don't even AIPAC. What is AIPAC? Is it IPAC? I'm not even sure how to pronounce it. What are you talking about? I have no idea. What? Who's a what? Huh?
Thought about it.
Wow. Okay, I want to take that moral clarity that you have right there, and then ask you again,
a third time. Are
Are you going to take money from AIPAC? Because just there, you talked about, and AIPAC is what helped. They gave Trump over, I think, $300 million. Are you going to take money from a group that lobbies to deny that that's happening to those children?
I'm not going to give you the shallow answer of saying yes or no.
That is literally the opposite of the shallow answer. A yes or a no would be a very succinct answer. It would be the least shallow. The constantly talking around, giving word salad, I have no idea. I didn't know where AIPAC, what are you talking about AIPAC? I haven't really given it much thought. That is bullshit. That is word salad. That is a shallow fucking answer. I'm not going to give you the shallow answer of a yes or no. No, man, that would be standing 10 toes down and actually standing on business, as opposed to this bullshit, this wishy-washy shit.
You can have moral clarity to talk about the starvation, the famine, and the genocide. Then it's a very easy jump to then just say across the board, you wouldn't believe how popular you'd be, Jeff. You just wouldn't believe how popular you'd be if you said, I am not taking money from AIPAC.
We'll certainly continue to look at it. But
I hope that you do. Jeff, I wish you the best of luck. I hope that you can report back to us sometime soon that you've thought about these AIPAC donations and that you will not accept them and partner with them in this, because I think that you will have so much more credibility. And how uncomfortable did I make you?
I was kind of all in.
I wish that people would have more rigorously, done this with our politicians and called them out more directly. I mean, I think I'm teeing him up for what's about to happen.
That's how it's done, folks. That is how you question a politician. You ask them over and over again. And every time they give you a non-answer, you just ask again. You make them feel how uncomfortable they should be for taking AIPAC money. That is what you do with a politician. Now, look, it has become more and more obvious that it is a genocide. Even the UN just recently said that it's a genocide. All of the people at the UN walked out on Bibi Netanyahu, leaving him standing there giving a bullshit-ass speech to an empty auditorium. Nearly every country on the planet walked out on him. Human rights organization after organization have said over and over again, this is a genocide. AIPAC is basically bought pretty much the entirety of the Republican Party and a very large contingent of the Democratic Party, which is why we are almost 2 years into this genocide. We're almost there, almost 2 years now. And we just now have a couple of European countries going, okay, it's a genocide. Maybe we should do something about it. Maybe we should start boycotting. Maybe we should stop funding them. Maybe we should stop sending them weapons. But that is how it's done. And I also wanted to include this. There's this guy. He is, I believe, he is running for. His name is Gilchrist or Gilchrist. He calls Gaza Palestine crisis a genocide at Arab Convention fundraising communications. Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist is staking out a new territory for establishment Michigan Democrats in his campaign for governor, offering his support for Palestinians facing hunger and strife in the Israel-Hamas war. It's not a war, it's a fucking slaughter, but okay. And plainly calling out the situation in Gaza genocide. It is becoming toxic to continue to support the atrocities that are going on in Gaza. And they're not stopping at Gaza. They're bombing Syria. They're bombing Lebanon. They're taking over and invading the West Bank. They're sending in cellulars. They're all armed to the teeth. And it has become toxic, especially in the Democratic Party, to continue to take AIPAC money and to continue to avoid calling this genocide what it is. Anyway, I just wanted to play you this little speech from the guy who is running for governor in Michigan.
The Netanyahu government is committing a genocide on the Palestinian people. This is not a matter of opinion. This is a matter of fact. This has been established by the global leaders who study genocide. This is not something that we should support. American taxpayer dollars should not fund offensive weapons of war while children are starving, while medical resources are being blocked to civilians, and while lineages of families are being erased. And look, candidates should not accept money from those who support the genocide. And that is why, as a candidate for governor of the state of Michigan, I will not accept money from AIPAC.
That's how it's done, folks. That is a real politician. Standing in the face of genocide, standing in the face of political pressure. You know that AIPAC is going to spend buckets and buckets and buckets of money on the person that is running against this guy for governor. But standing on principle means something. In the face of fascism and genocide, fascism at home and genocide abroad, and you're not standing on business, what the hell are we going to vote for you for? Sitting there in your chair talking about, I haven't really thought about it. Oh, well, I'll give it some thought about not taking AIPAC money. That means he's already took it. That means he has already taken money from AIPAC. I'm not going to give you the shallow answer of yes or no. God damn, man. Just pathetic. This old guard of Democrats running on this, riding the fence, wishy-washy. Don't ask me any real questions because I don't want to give you any real answers because I'm not about to stand up for what I believe in. I'm just kind of got to go with, whichever way the wind is blowing. Thankfully, Jennifer Welch held that God's feet to the fire, and thankfully that Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist actually stood on business and said that he was not going to take AIPAC money. That is the fighters that we need. We need Democrats to stand up to the powers that be and tell them to go fuck themselves. Anyway, thank you, Jennifer Walsh, for showing mainstream media how to actually question a politician relentlessly and with passion. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.